Although we may be unaware of them, bacteria are present on our bodies. They are on our hands and in our hair, throats, and intestines. They are also on our clothing and on common items that we frequently handle, such as money, pens, and pencils. These bacteria can easily spread to food. The personal hygiene, attire, and general good habits of food service workers play a critical role in keeping these bacteria away from the food they prepare and serve. In this lesson, you will be introduced to sections 28 to 31 of the ND Food Code, after which you will be able to identify 1. The factors of personal hygiene essential for school food service employees, and 2. The proper hand washing techniques. Don't forget, you can click on the ND Food Code red cover whenever you see it on a slide to view the entire ND Food Code. This is a listing, as a minimum, of personal hygiene factors essential for food service employees. Number 1. Bathe daily. Number 2. Do not come to work sick. Number 3. Wash hands thoroughly. Number 4. Keep fingernails clean and trimmed. Number 5. Change gloves often. Number 6. Keep outer clothing clean. Number 7. Wear minimal or no jewelry. Number 8. Use a hair restraint. We will go into depth into several of these factors. Regarding not coming into work sick, the ND Food Code states, ND Food Code Section 28.9, Responsibility of Permit Holder, Person in Charge, and Conditional Employees. The permit holder shall require food employees and conditional employees to report to the person in charge information about their health and activities as they relate to diseases that are transmittable through food. A food employee or conditional employee shall report the information in a manner that allows the person in charge to reduce the risk of foodborne disease transmission, including providing necessary additional information, such as a date of onset of symptoms and an illness, or of a diagnosis without symptoms, if the food employee or conditional employee meets the criteria listed. The ND Food Code Section 28.9 through 28.11, pages 43 through 49, goes in depth as to what should be reported and what the person in charge should do because of the information reported. Shown is the chart on handout Appendix C, Self-Reporting Procedures for School Food Service Employees. The chart specifies, in general, when a food service employee should report to the person in charge to prevent the spread of foodborne illness. If any of these conditions have occurred, and depending upon the date of occurrence, how long ago you were exposed, you may be excluded or restricted from certain work activities until it is determined that you are free of infection. Look to the ND Food Code for specifics, and use common sense. ND Food Code Section 29, General Personal Cleanliness. Food employees shall clean their hands and exposed portions of their arms for at least 20 to 30 seconds, using a cleaning compound in a hand sink. The importance of coming to work clean and washing promptly and properly throughout the day cannot be emphasized enough. Food employees shall use the following cleaning procedure. Number 1. Using warm water and soap for at least 20 to 30 seconds. Use vigorous friction on the surfaces of the lathered fingers, fingertips, areas between the fingers, hands, and arms. Number 2. Using a nail brush, pay particular attention to the areas underneath the fingernails. Number 3. Thoroughly rinse hands and arms under clean, running warm water. Number 4. Thoroughly dry clean hands and arms using conveniently located disposable towels, clean continuous towel system, or hand drying device providing heated air. Note: if approved and capable of removing the types of soils encountered in the food operations involved, an automatic hand washing facility may be used by food employees to clean their hands. Food employees shall clean their hands and exposed portions of their arms. Before engaging in food preparation, including working with exposed food, clean equipment and utensils, and unwrapped single-service and single-use articles, and, after touching or scratching bare human body parts other than clean hands and clean exposed portions of arms, such as ears, mouth, nose, or hair, after using the restroom and after breaks, after caring for or handling service animals and aquatic animals, after coughing, sneezing using a handkerchief or disposable tissue, using tobacco, eating, or drinking, after handling soiled equipment and utensils, such as clearing, scraping, or washing dirty plates and utensils, during food preparation, as often as necessary to remove soil and contamination and to prevent cross-contamination when changing tasks, when switching between working with raw food and working with ready-to-eat food, before putting on gloves for working with food, and after engaging in other activities that contaminate the hand, such as handling money in the cafeteria line or taking out the garbage. ND Food Code Section 29.1 Preventing Contamination from Hands. Limit direct hand contact. As just discussed, food employees shall wash their hands as specified in the previous section. Except when washing fruits and vegetables as specified in Section 10, food employees shall limit direct hand contact with exposed, ready-to-eat food when deli tissue, spatulas, tongs, dispensing equipment, or other utensils can be used. Make available and use equipment to prevent directly touching with the hand. Food employees shall minimize bare hand and arm contact with exposed food that is not in a ready-to-eat form. One way to do this is to correctly use disposable plastic gloves. Plastic gloves are not a suitable substitute for hand washing. You should wash your hands before putting on gloves or changing into a new pair. Because gloves are easily contaminated, they are single-use only and should be changed as often as you wash your hands, such as when opening cooler doors, opening packages, handling pans or cans, operating equipment, serving foods with scoops or ladles, handling money, and touching your face or hair. Dispose of contaminated gloves. Wearing disposable plastic gloves can help prevent some contamination that leads to foodborne illness. Change plastic gloves frequently and after any activity through which the gloves may have come in contact with bacteria. They should be worn when direct contact is made with any foods during meal preparation and service, such as handling cheese or sandwich meats, raw vegetables, slicing sandwiches, serving bread or buns. This is especially true with foods that will receive no further cooking. However, gloves do not need to be worn when preparing foods that will be cooked. ND Food Code Section 29.2 Hand Contact Sanitizer. A hand antiseptic used as a topical application, a hand antiseptic solution used as a hand dip, or a hand antiseptic soap shall be applied only to clean hands. Comply with one of the following. Be an approved drug that is listed with the Food and Drug Administration publication as an approved drug based on safety and effectiveness, or have an active antimicrobial ingredients that are listed in the Food and Drug Administration monograph as an antiseptic hand wash, or comply with having components that are exempted from the requirement of being listed in Federal Food Additive Regulations. ND Food Code Section 29.2 continued. If a hand sanitizer or a chemical hand sanitizing solution used as a hand dip does not meet the criteria, use
shall be followed by thorough hand rinsing in clean water before hand contact with food or by the use of gloves, or limited to situations that involve no direct contact with food by the bare hands, and a hand antiseptic solution used as a hand dip shall be maintained clean and at a strength equivalent of at least 100 milligrams per liter chlorine. Note: instant hand sanitizers are not recommended in place of hand washing in a food service operation because food can be contaminated with a chemical. Which sinks in the food service areas may be used to wash hands? The answer: the sinks in bathrooms and hand washing sinks in the kitchen. Sinks that may not be used are the 3-compartment pot sink, vegetable salad sink, or any other food sink. ND Food Code Section 29.3 Where to wash. Food employees shall clean their hands in a hand sink or approved automatic hand washing facility and may not clean their hands in a sink used for food preparation or warewashing, or in a service sink or a curbed cleaning facility used for the disposal of mop water and similar liquid waste.
Note: you are encouraged to post hand washing signs by the kitchen hand sink and in the bathrooms. Also, the Food Code gives directions on hand sink supplies. ND Food Code Section 77 Hand Sink Supplies. A supply of hand cleaning soap or detergent shall be available at each hand sink. A supply of disposable towels, clean continuous towel system, or a hand drying device providing heated air shall be conveniently located near each hand sink. The use of common towels is prohibited. If disposable towels are used, easily cleanable waste receptacles shall be conveniently located near the hand sinks. Let's take a short break from all of these rules to grab your pencil and your paper to write down the 3rd digit of the training code. Are you ready? The 3rd digit is the number 8. Back to the code and personal hygiene. Keep your fingernails clean and trimmed. ND Food Code Section 29.4 Fingernail Maintenance. Food employees shall keep their fingernails trimmed, filed, and maintained so the edges and surfaces are cleanable and not rough. Unless wearing intact gloves in good repair, a food employee may not wear fingernail polish or artificial fingernails when working with exposed food. Long or ragged fingernails harbor bacteria and are difficult to keep sanitary. In addition, long or false fingernails can break off, and fingernail polish can chip off into food. ND Food Code Section 30 General Clothing and Jewelry. Food employees shall wear clean outer clothing to prevent contamination of food, equipment, utensils, linens, and single-service or single-use articles. While preparing food, food employees may not wear jewelry, including medical information jewelry on their arms and hands. This section does not apply to a plain ring, such as a wedding band. Dirty clothing carries disease-causing microorganisms. One contact with soiled clothing is enough to start the contamination cycle, from the clothing to the hands to the food. This includes aprons. Aprons should not be worn home or to work. They should not be worn outside food preparation areas, nor used as a hand towel. Change aprons when going from raw to cooked or finished products, or when they become soiled. Because jewelry is difficult to keep clean and can become caught in equipment or on sharp objects, food service workers should wear minimal jewelry, if any. Workers should not wear dangling necklaces, pins, bracelets, earrings, or large ornate rings. ND Food Code Section 31, General Employee Practices. Employees may consume food only in designated dining areas. Employees may not use tobacco in any form while engaged in food preparation or service, or while in areas used for equipment or utensil washing or food preparation. Employees may use tobacco only in designated areas. Employees shall handle soiled tableware in a way that minimizes contamination of their hands. Employees shall maintain a high degree of personal cleanliness and shall conform to good hygienic practices during all working periods in the food establishment. ND Food Code Section 31, General Employee Practices. A food employee may drink from a closed beverage container if the container is handled to prevent contamination of the employee's hands, the container, and exposed food, equipment, utensils, linens, and single-service articles. Nibbling on food in the food preparation or service areas should not be allowed. Food employees experiencing persistent sneezing, coughing, or a runny nose that causes discharges from the eyes, nose, or mouth may not work with exposed food, clean equipment, utensils, and linens, or unwrapped single-service or single-use articles. Note: this is a critical control point. ND Food Code Section 31.1, Hair Restraints. Employees shall wear hair restraints, such as hats, hair coverings or nets, beard restraints, and clothing that covers body hair that are designed and worn to effectively keep their hair from contacting exposed food, clean equipment, utensils, and unwrapped single-service and single-use articles. Hair restraints serve as a double purpose in that they also discourage employees from running their fingers through their hair, scratching their scalps, or otherwise contaminating their hands by touching their hair. Hairspray does not adequately restrain hair under normal applications. Bacteria are present on our bodies and can easily spread to food. The personal hygiene, attire, and general good habits of food service employees can play a crucial role in keeping these bacteria away from the food they prepare and serve to customers. Take a minute to answer these questions with a response that is either true or false. Here are the answers. Did you get them right? Please click on this link to go to Lesson 3, Receiving and Storage of Safe Food.